black turd.
I don't think so. I don't think you look like a black turd, but you know, teach them. I see you're listening to Donald Trump here.
Yeah, because he's fucking gay. Huh?
First,
what? First off, you over there. Why would you sue
First 2 seconds into my non-political live stream, you just partisoned my video. The views are gonna go from like.
Listen, do you want? If you want, you can cut it, right?
I can't because it's live.
You can. Oh,
we're live.
Oh,
we're live.
Oh,
this is like other podcasts.
Oh God,
your political stance has now been outed, Kevin.
Okay, so
you can't say that you're you know non-political now because
just because I said that doesn't mean I can say I don't want to make no comment. Which is, you know what I mean? That's my thing. I don't want to make a comment anymore because you know
I think it means that.
But people, you know, it doesn't really matter what you think. For what I think,
excuse me.
But what I think matters.
It matters a lot what my viewers think.
It doesn't matter what they think. You jabroni. Okay.
Excuse
me. You're a jabroni, man.
What was that?
You're a jabroni.
Is that what you are?
Yeah, that's what you are. A jabroni.
I said that's what you are.
No, man. If I was a jabroni, I wouldn't be here.
If you were a True. That's how life works.
It's like you're a ja and you're brony and you just never existed, you know what I'm saying? You just don't exist. Your world was like made up. Your whole life was a simulator.
It was never real. None of it was real. It was all fake. It was all a lie.
Right now, you're all living an illusion where you think you're alive, but actually you're just a sperm.
You know, to be honest, I've been thinking about that for a while. Not the sperm part, but just like if
a Matrix type thing.
If we are all in just a simulation, what's the point, really?
Well, the point is to see who will live the most successful life or have a better run.
But if there's no middle ground, then how would we? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
I mean, if they gave us some sort of a middle ground. Well, I mean, they did.
Well, I don't want a middle ground because I don't want communism, but I don't want. But there's no fair playing field.
And what's that on the field?
There's no fair playing field because
no fair playing field.
Yeah, there's no fair playing field.
I mean,
some people are born without certain
with a spoon in their mouth, and some people were born with the spoon not in their mouth. They found the spoon later on. I'm just saying, some people have a head start, some people don't.
That's what I just said. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I just rephrased it. You know, it's not like you said it or anything. I totally came up with it.
I took all of your ideas.
I
will sue you for them.
I totally came up with all the ideas. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, you said, so you think this is a simulation, or is that just up in your...
I really do believe that this life right now is a simulation. If I had cheat codes, I would basically turn this whole world into a cartoon. And, you know, people look prettier in cartoon form, in anime form, actually. So let's just put this world in an anime world where that simulation will actually be a lot better. Well, technically, it'll all be the same. It'll just look better. We'll all be better.
Right. Very true. Very true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I get your perspective there.
Everybody's prettier. Everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. You're prettier in an anime world.
But isn't that because we made anime to look like, you know, our best? The anime is created by men, by humans, to be the pinnacle of what we'd like humans to look like. Really, it's for the most part the best anime characters look pure and look sharp and well detailed and gorgeous and are made to be, you know, attractive upon,
which is true,
male or female.
Male or female.
Exactly.
And there are actually traps, and I don't like traps because it makes people all confused.
Of course.
If you've seen a trap, now if you already haven't identified your gender and you see a trap and you become confused,
are you a part of this group that I'm not? Let me not.
I'm not saying.
Let me not get in this political state.
Like, all I'm saying is, right.
CartoonChat.
There were only 3, right? 3 known genders. Well, one was kind of like a malfunction, basically, but you know, you can't really help There's your male, your female, then there's your hermaphrodite, which has both sexes.
But if hypothetically we don't teach hermaphrodite in school, because of the fact that it's such a minimal it's such a minimal percentage. It's like less than 1% of the population. So there isn't a necessity to necessarily put it out there. You can still teach it, but you don't. It doesn't need to be.
It's not really widely known because people are like, oh, there's a possibility that they can be born with, both sexes. Which I was like, well, I didn't know that was a thing until my mom said. So I was like, yeah, that's a thing. So I was like, oh my god, mom, that's weird.
Right.
But
it's a thing.
Yeah, I'm like, it's weird. It's like, oh yeah, you're family.
Everyone has their own.
Everybody have their own shits. You know what I'm saying?
I don't really care. It's just like as long as it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? Like, don't make me play the pronoun game.
Right. Of course not. Why would we want to play that?
I don't need to.
That's a game where we don't want to go down.
No, we don't need to go down that road. But as we're waiting here for Mark,
we're just making a random conversation until the third wheel shows up.
Until the third wheel shows up.
Yeah, the third wheel of this conversation.
Exactly.
So,
have you?
Indoraptors is a thing, man.
We might as well talk about Jurassic World.
Yes, Jurassic World.
A lot of people dislike, Jurassic Park, the franchise, since the original. And I would say that Jurassic Park, the original, was brilliant, and it is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Of course,
there's no beating that film.
I'm a fanboy, but then look, right? There are two Jurassic World and Jurassic Park fanboys. Team Spinosaurus, and you got your Team T-Rex.
Is that the team? Is that the teams they're talking? I thought we were talking about the teams that exclusively think Jurassic Park is the best, and there's no other good sequels. And there's
there's those two. But I'm talking about
dinosaur
when Jurassic Park 2 came out, the Spinosaurus killed the T-Rex. Right. And for some reason, that was an adolescent T-Rex. So that whole fight didn't count. But when scientists discovered the fossils of the Spinosaurus, they discovered significantly that the Spinosaurus was a lot larger than the T-Rex.
Right.
So regardless if it was adolescent or an adult or whatever, Spinosaurus still kicks ass. Now, if you want to, you can debate this. If you feel so inclined.
In the CartoonChat podcast, you can debate this.
I mean, this is cartoon. I mean, anyway, you can.
But no,
cartoon.
What the main thing was like, there's a huge debate. Like, I like Jurassic World. I'm one of those people that I enjoyed Jurassic World.
I literally set up the.
Excuse me, we were talking, sir.
You guys recording already?
We already started.
I set up like the old Super Nintendo on the old TV for them.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Brilliant. So, by the way, we weren't talking about anything important. None of the incredible.
Yeah, we were just talking about Jurassic World and random stuff.
We started with gender norms and stuff like that, and then we went into Jurassic. It's been spinning around.
Yeah,
so if you'd like to sit down and
tossing random conversations,
we'll jump right into CartoonChat if we were waiting for you.
Okay.
But yeah, what?
Oh wait, so your viewers are watching already?
I don't know. I have zero because I haven't uploaded anything in a while. So,
why hasn't that been a thing?
Why haven't I uploaded?
Why haven't you been uploading?
Because I don't know where to take the channel, and it's my channel. And as much as I appreciate my viewers, I need to know what I'm going to work on next.
That's why you listen to them, like Man in Arms.
If I listen, I will. That's true. I can listen to my fans. That is something that companies do. But I also are singular person that makes their own content. So, for instance, someone said for me a couple months ago to review the Teen Titans Go 200th episode. I have no interest in making a review of a 200th episode of Teen Titans Go or ever anything in general. I'm just not interested in that.
But I mean, you're interested in the Teen Titans Go movie, so why not review the show?
Because I've gone through everything as much as I can.
Well, I was about to cup of Hawaiian Punch.
I would love a cup of Hawaiian Punch.
I do.
What's up?
You want a cup of Hawaiian Punch?
Yeah, but don't give anything to Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I did kind of feel guilty about saying no, not you. I did feel like I hurt your feelings, but Brian kind of convinced me that you should say yeah.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, fuck you, Kevin.
Yeah, you just have to understand that this is the world we live in.
Jesus.
But no, Jurassic World though I thought it was a good movie because not a good movie. It was just it's a popcorn movie. I liked seeing the park. I know it's stupid, but because it's weird. Universal, the company, they act like Jurassic Park 2 and 3 exist. And if 2 and 3 actually exist, then it wouldn't make sense to make a Jurassic World movie because no one would ever go to a theme park with dinosaurs after all the terroristic events of dinosaurs in the world that would have happened after 3.
Now, I think
but if you retcon
3, it was more of like a closed thing. Like it wasn't really open per se. It was only open to like a select few, and then and like I think like the first and second one, it was like, dude, stay away from that island, do not go there. But they keep roping back the same old characters from the old movies. Like, look, dude, we're rich. We want to pay you to go visit this island.
That was the thing about the trilogy. That was the thing, just bringing them back and all that stuff.
Yeah, because there are people who are stupid, and despite the warnings, there's like, I'm rich. I want to go anyway.
I want to do it.
Right. So they just go, and that was a whole thing. But when they made Jurassic World, they were like, boom, we successfully tamed and created this island where people can actually pay to go see realistic dinosaurs that was closed off.
And it's been closed off for over a decade. When I saw Jurassic World when it first came out, I thought that they had just retconned 2 and 3 because that's what it seemed like from the story. Was that, you know, like, oh, Jurassic Park went wild, but then nothing got to the mainland. With that being noted, I like the fact that, you know, we finally got to see the park open. That was the greatest thing about Jurassic World. Like, okay,
they're trying to make this venture.
The original was,
and it never opened.
Yeah, the original was always, you know, like you said, they attempted, it didn't ever release. Due to catastrophic incidents, but we get to see it finally with Jurassic World. We get to see it actually open. We get to see it actually with a large amount of people. We get to see it in a touristy fashion. We get to see all of the people there. It was awesome. It was great. But then it all changed. Like, and of course, as expected, it went out of control. Everything changed. It got worse.
And then again with the Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, I do love the movie, but people do not learn. You know, you have people who are corrupt, want to make nothing but money, just money talks,
exactly.
Right? And they're like, well, I've created this dinosaur, right? It's a prototype, nobody cares. Sell it to whoever wants it.
You talking about Jurassic World 2, or are you talking about 1?
Oh, Fallen Kingdom 2, like Jurassic World 2.
Okay, I let you know. Okay, yeah.
So basically, after the events of 1, and it went awry, just went chaos. You know, it just messed up.
Exactly.
They were like, well, okay, we're closing the park. No more park. The dinosaurs are all locked in this one island, unable to escape.
Exactly.
And then again, it was like they say, look, let's take a page from the old movies, bring in an old character from one of those movies, and say, look, I want to right my wrongs. Let's take these dinosaurs and put them over here on this island.
The funny thing is, he never existed though. I guess they made a new character that was apparently with the old characters, and then just. That was the thing. No, he literally.
Are you sure he never existed?
No, it's been confirmed. He literally was never in any of the films. They made up the fact that he was like Hammond's friend and whatever, and then like, you know.
Okay.
But it makes sense. I mean, that's a good story. It's a good story idea. Like, okay, well, his best friend said.
Basically, we're just trying to find a way to tie it all back.
Exactly.
Tie it all back to the old movies.
Exactly.
And now
they got the Goldblum. They got the Goldblum. You know. Much very necessary character. You know, very cool dude.
And then the stuff I called. By the way, this is spoilers if you didn't.
Yeah, we're just having a cool time. This is a cartoon conversation, so it doesn't. If you haven't seen it, then you know, skip past whatever time frame this is.
But the fact that I was like, dude, this girl's a clone. Like, I called it. You said, no, it's not possible. She could look exactly like her mother. I'm like, that usually happens when you, like, after maybe 2-3 generations, that somebody would actually look spitting image to the person who, you know, was their...
Like their grandmother and them and all that stuff, yeah. But, you know, I didn't expect it because I didn't think that would... There was so little time in the movie devoted to that, I didn't think that they would actually, like, flesh it out well.
But it was too easy to figure out because he was like, the guy was like, oh, I had a daughter,
and then she
died.
I didn't know
she left me her daughter, and then I'm like, well, okay. And he says, you look exactly like your mother,
right? The issue,
and that's what kind of basically
was
threw a red flag.
Yeah, the issue I had with that was that a lot of people say that it looks like their mother. Number one. Number two was the fact that if this dude was trying to right all of his wrongs. He literally, after all of that, cloned
his own
like less than 10 years. Like less than 10 years ago. That means that after all that, like he wants to like right his wrongs. Like, dude, after all the events of Jurassic Park, you clone
your
own daughter. Like, what is the where is your like line of morality? What is this? Because you do this and then you do that, and then you say you want to go against it, and then you make a clone, and like it's.
Yeah, basically, he's like, okay, I want to right my wrongs. These dinosaurs should not be, for show. They should be on their own secluded island. They should be their own thing.
Exactly.
Now, on a dad perspective, do you think of it as if you think from a father's perspective, you'd be all like, well, damn, I lost my daughter. I'll do anything to get her back, and I have the technology to bring her back, and that's basically what he did. He cloned her and brought her back.
And you could say the same thing about dinosaurs last edition.
Right.
I love dinosaurs. I really wish to see them come to life. If we could do anything to get these dinosaurs back, I'd do anything, and that's what's been happening since Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. That's an unfortunate situation about it.
Well, in Jurassic Park, they completely mastered the cloning and the technique of splicing different DNA to get different dinosaurs to be different things. And that was cool. But where they messed up was when they created, we want scarier, we want flashier, we want cooler. You know what I'm saying? That's when they said, okay, let's fuse the dinosaurs. Let's create something that is modern day,
right?
Not from the past. We don't know how it will act.
Because they merged it with a lot of different other, like,
cuttlefish, octopus.
Right, it was
not octopus. It was like there was cuttlefish, cuttlefish because they have the camouflage ability, and it was like,
it got too out of hand. I do understand though, because they and this is what I liked about Jurassic World, the fourth movie, but the first in this new lineup. What I liked was the fact that with Jurassic World, the cool thing was, this is real. There are tourists here. It's a theme park. People are finally seeing dinosaurs. And what's happening? Attendance is declining because people have seen dinosaurs so many times that they're bored of it.
Right.
And so they invent this dinosaur that's going to be wicked, and it's going to be wild, and it's going to change the whole attendance rate. It's going to blow everything out of the water, and you can see how corporate everything is. And obviously they were very wrong, but I could see the intention there. To see it purely as a business-focused thing and not as a, intended new attraction. They were thinking of dinosaurs as attractions. I could see why they would do that, but that was their fatal flaw.
And it really was, because they only made 2 of the Indominus Rex. They only made 2.
Yeah. And
in order to survive, what she did was she ate her weaker brother. It was confirmed that one was a girl, one was a boy, and she ate him.
Yep.
And what I thought was,
the most
crazy, because her only relationship was with a crane. The crane gives her food, and she knows that, she's going to eat tonight.
That's how the food comes. Yeah, that's it.
That's all she is. She had no interaction with no other dinosaurs or anything. They didn't especially design the caves for her to see other dinosaurs. I was like, okay, what is that? Because clearly she's smart, very intelligent. She could have been like, okay, they're here to see me, to make money, and then stuff like that. Then in the newer movie, we already know, one, velociraptors are smart.
Right.
We already know velociraptors are smart. Then they decide, okay, let's take
a velociraptor and the last remaining
the remains of the Indominus Rex.
Yeah.
And we're gonna mix it with a raptor and create an even smarter.
How intellectual that was.
That raptor was very, very smart. That it was scary.
Yeah. It was legitimately like, wow, this is where we're going.
This dude is like,
it's a little much.
Yeah, he's figuring out how to open windows, how to track people down using little echolocation tapping.
Yeah, the thing was, though, actually, some of it was, they literally pulled from the classic Jurassic Park movies. Like, some of them, if you rewatch the old Jurassic Park movies, they were literally just scenes that are pulled and things that dinosaurs did in the past. They just pull into the new movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little funny and a little unoriginal. But hey, one thing that really bugged me was the fact that, it seemed like there was a good resolution going on with this movie. Let's wrap it up. we cannot let those dinosaurs out.
We're just gonna let the dinosaurs die.
No, and that I thought that was a brilliant direction because it's like, we can't control this. Every time we try to control it, it gets out of control,
and then
we
goes awry.
And for some reason, this little girl that I don't know what the resolution or what the point of this is, that this. Is it to say that even the clones that are human, even those things go out of our control? Is that what that was? Because realistically, she literally just killed such a large swath of the population by doing that.
Of people, but the ideology was that
what? Mario,
I'm a clone.
How many minutes?
Literally one. I got to press the A button.
Okay.
I'm a clone myself, right? They're clones. I'm clones. Right. They're living. I'm living. Why should they die and not me? I'm here living. These people protecting me. These are cool. So how about this, right? I let them live because they're just like me.
Well, here's the thing that I would say about that, right? And another YouTuber made a good. I think this was what is the YouTuber's name? I forgot what the YouTuber's name was. Hey, what's up, Dodo? I forgot what the YouTuber's name was, but he said there are murderers in jail just like me. I could let them out just because they're just like me. I can let them out, and then what would they do?
They'll murder.
They
go back to doing what they do.
There are people that have shot up schools and they're in jail right now, but they're just like me. They have hearts and lungs and bladders and livers. They're just like me. I could do that too, but no.
Right. But then you got to think about it, right? Then you got to think about for those people who have that type of humanity, that even though these people have done wrong, and like,
are you connecting that to the dinosaurs? Is this what you're connecting to? Because the
dinosaurs are just doing their thing.
Yes, they don't care.
They're just doing their thing. They're just, hey, look, I'm a dinosaur. I'm doing my own thing. Yeah. If you're in the way, that's your problem.
I'm going to eat.
That's your problem.
Yeah.
You get stomped, you get run through, whatever. That's your problem.
Yeah.
That's not my problem.
You're going to be murdered.
That's basically how it basically went. That's what they were really leading up to at that point.
Exactly.
Really. And I was like, I really thought they were gonna let dinosaurs go, and I love the dinosaurs movie to continue. I was just like,
this is a good resolution. It makes sense. I mean, even all the characters said it. Ian Malcolm, I think that's his name. Jeff Goldblum's character said, now don't let these dinosaurs this. It's not a good idea to keep doing this to the dinosaurs. First it's like and then there's a lot of running.
But here's my theory, right? Yeah. I think it's gonna end on the third movie.
Oh no, the director confirmed that. The writer-director confirmed that his whole point was to make a trilogy, and that this is just the middle movie. He confirmed that he wanted to do the second movie because he wanted to see the third, which was he wanted to see a movie. He wanted to make a movie that was all about having the dinosaurs in the world, in human world, which is. We've seen that already, but let's see it now in a modern take. Let's see him direct it. Let's see how.
Is that the voice reaction?
Yeah, it's the voice reaction. Yeah. Don't worry, Mark. They can hear you.
He's very weird.
Right. But yeah, Jurassic World, Jurassic World.
Did you look up the stuff? Because you missed the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, don't let her drink that. By the way, we're letting her drink that.
There's nothing in there, but come on, man. I was gonna try to reuse that, Maxie. But what are you doing?
I want to show you a quick video because it's funny.
No, I know the first one. What are you talking about?
Are we even allowed to do that?
I think so. As long as it's not like anything that's. What the fuck? Oh my gosh! Are you kidding me? What?
What?
What? You may have us, but you'll never get off the island. I'd like to differ.
What the?
That's good.
And I have constructed a crude suspension bridge to Venezuela. Once there, I shall lie low and assume all jobs under the name Mr. Pilkington. But perhaps I've said too much.
That's good.
Yeah, that's pretty much what.
Wow.
I respect that. That was good.
That was really cool.
That was like really cool. I think that was from a show called The Critic. It was like a parody. Oh, there was a parody clip from Jurassic Park 2.
That's cool, man. I haven't seen The Critic in a while. I've only seen little.
I haven't watched the show either. I saw that clip and that was so funny.
Show,
that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, might as well get into our main event though. If you guys have been listening, this is Cartoon Chat, of course. I'm Brian Swan, the host, the guy that's been always voice acting these videos all around. I'm joined today with my friend
Canine Biscuits. Today my hat is not as buckety. These things are like downwards when they should be like going this way.
Right.
Yes, we
quite a style, Mark.
We care about the bucket wear.
Quite
the bucket wear are very good amongst fishermen and outdoorsmen.
Mark, I think it's
this is Genesis
Mark,
GW.
Mark, it's a very good style because you look like a turn off the fan.
Okay.
It's too high.
We're black people.
I know
we're fat black people, and it's hot in here.
I know we burn, but I'm just saying. So to the main topic, I'm Genesis GW, but
that's your new name.
That's how.
I know.
That's how it's been like that for a while now. But
I know. I saw your update video. Why did you change the name? Is it because your friend made you the logo?
No, I made that myself.
No. The Pharaoh. Why you changed the other name? Ever?
No, that's just because I just I'm trying to make my own identity. Right. I'm just saying. So okay. I remade myself.
Modern
basically. Have more subscriptions on my new channel than I had my old channel. So I was like, okay, that's
cool. You're updating more frequently. Your other channel, you was barely adding stuff.
Barely able to. Then I was able to. Now I'm not able to anymore. This roller coaster of a flip flop. But it's not about me. This is about Incredibles 2. You know what I'm saying? It's really about the Incredibles. You know what I'm saying?
I would say so. I think that's the title.
That's the title of this video. That's the title of this.
Even though we've been through Jurassic World and gender norms and whatever else we've been talking
about. A wide range of topics. It doesn't.
It was fun. It was fun. I think. Let's get into it though. This has been a 14-year wait.
Are you gonna call us like Jurassic World / Incredibles 2 review?
No, I'm just gonna talk about Incredibles 2 and then.
That's just the main point. We only talk about those stuff because you weren't here.
Well, are you keeping the stuff you didn't talk about?
Yeah, it's live. You can't really
mention it. It doesn't matter. Okay. I'm running this a little more casual. But no, first I want to talk about this to all people out there that have been to movie theaters that enjoy the pre-movie show. I would like to say,
fuck you. Legit, just fuck you, man. If you enjoy the pre-movie show, get a life. Legit. Nobody cares about BG&E and all that stuff.
No.
You're not going that direction?
I was.
I thought it was going that direction. Okay, so you say what you say. Well, because
okay, I want to say it.
I was going to say if you enjoy it. But what I was going to say was our great adventure there, where what ended up happening was Mark got our tickets for Incredibles 2. We saw it that day, while we were all waiting for the movie, of course, as everyone knows, there's a pre-movie show where usually this host comes out. You get to see all these commercials, essentially YouTube ads, the equivalent of YouTube ads, and no one should care about that. It's very useless. And of course, we all decided to talk because why should I care about the BG&E commercial? Why should I care about the Coca-Cola commercial? They don't care about me.
State Farm commercial.
Or State Farm commercial. They are billion-dollar companies. They could care less about me being in a movie theater seat. They're only trying to get their brand out there. I don't care what you're trying to sell me. The point that I'm here for is Incredibles, not for the actual, not for these pre-movie shows.
Of course.
So there's two families in front of us, and they decide to go to the manager of the AMC to just, instead of just telling us to be quiet, they have to.
Hey guys, we're in the movie theater. We want to see all this stuff. Could you just,
easiest thing.
Lay off, you know what I'm saying? Just calm it down. I know you're excited. Just calm down.
Let's not forget that this is a 14-year wait movie, so we've been waiting for nearly a decade and a half.
And as we're in there, we're just coming up with different theories.
It's not really good theater anyway, because first of all, both of their gimmicks were broke, even though they were listed.
That was funny. That was weird.
Yeah.
And had to give us free tickets. Compensation, no refund, just free tickets.
We got free tickets, yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, what was great though.
And actually, no, it was funny.
Free tickets are, we could get the ultra best movies
if they work.
If they work. If they don't, then we get another free movie ticket. So if we can just keep timing this right, Mark, we could, just bankroll this through December.
Definitely. But yeah, so they went and say, they complained to the manager, and the manager came up here. We've been getting complaints.
It's like they're stupid. It's just like I'm pretty sure if we would have complained about other people first, they would have went there.
I mean, possibly.
If we were the ones to go to the managers before they did, they would have talked to them.
Awesome. Yeah, no, same difference. Yeah, either or would have been the same difference. What was funny though was like, why are you getting so offended over us talking
over previews
during the pre-movie show, which advertises Pepsi and Mountain Dew?
It wasn't like it was trailers for other movies. No, it wasn't that. It was before even that.
And at least excuse was some people want to enjoy the pre-show, which doesn't
make sense. Yeah,
or it doesn't really. Nobody cares for the pre-show.
It's the same. It's like I said, they're the equivalent of
our showtime starts at 12:15, and all this happened at like 12.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you want to watch a YouTube video, are you quiet for the YouTube ad? Do you really consider the YouTube ad as your main focus? No,
of course not.
Your main focus is the YouTube video.
You just literally click skip.
If you could skip the pre-show, you would skip the pre-show. That's it. But anyway, all outrageous, all unnecessary. Let's get into Incredibles 2, though, as everyone here probably wants to know. 0 viewers right now. I'm not really caring, but
it's gonna be pre-recorded pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But let's jump into this. 14-year wait. 14 years. Incredible distance between the original, no pun intended, to the sequel. It's been hyped up for years. We had Finding Dory, we had Cars 2, we had a lot of sequels that we've been waiting. Like, okay, when is Incredibles 2 coming out? When is Incredibles 2?
No, we had a lot of sequels we didn't want.
Yeah, a lot of sequels we didn't want.
The only sequel that was mandatory was Toy Story 3.
Sure.
Right.
Because it was a whole Disney Pixar buyout. After that, Disney was like, okay,
you have to
before out of every movie before, I think before 2004, you have to make a sequel of.
Exactly.
Except for Buzz Lightyear.
Well, let's talk about the opening. They acknowledged the fact that it's been 14 years, and these animations take time.
Well, are you talking about the pre-show opening where they were?
Yeah, they acknowledged basically, the stars, the voice actors who acted in the cartoon.
That's so annoying putting that before the show.
I mean,
also, here's the thing. It's like fucking cats. Well, they're talking about the movie, and then it's like, okay, enjoy the movie, and the movie's about to start, and it's like animation short first.
Yeah,
that was badly timed.
That was very badly timed.
Oh, yeah, the animation for the Dumpling Boy, that was weird.
Pixar always comes up with these cool shorts. I don't know. I guess maybe because I'm older, I don't really care about the shorts. I wanted to, and it's because it's been a long wait. It's because it was Incredibles. I didn't care about the short. I wanted to just
jump into the book.
Here's the I also didn't care about the actors thing either. I hate when movies do that. It's like I rather they do that at the pre-show, which I appreciate. There's certain movies that do that have that at in the preview pre-show.
Right.
But
doing it right before the
movie, because you get the whole thing now enjoy the theaters
now enjoy the show the graphics thing. The cool thing yeah very very brilliant design.
It's about to finally start.
Right.
All right, here at our studio, we love making this movie, and here's a bunch of clips that we're going to spoil it for you, even though you're gonna see the movie right now.
Sure.
Yeah. But then we let's talk about the sequence. The sequence.
What sequence?
Basically, from the first movie to the second movie, the transition. The transition was
before we do that. I just want to say one more thing about the voice actors. I think that I do appreciate them doing this because it doesn't make sense. It's been again a decade and a half. I understand what they mean by doing the 14-year wait. Okay, well, enjoy the show. Samuel L. Jackson comes out. All the voice actors come out. I do think that the only issue is it takes a bit of the magic away. So instead of jumping in and seeing these characters that we've seen for so long, instead you cut that in half by then showing the voice actors, and now I'm thinking of the human voice actors playing the animated characters instead of the animated characters originally. That didn't happen to me. It was a sort of a very odd.
Now you can picture who it actually is,
right?
Rather than the character,
and that's I think a potential issue because of course you're focused on the animated characters. But anyway, like you were saying, the jump in. The first scene that we see with Tony Redinger and the old man.
Tony Redinger and the old man.
I thought that was a brilliant way to start because I was smiling from you. I was smiling on that. It was
a direct reference to Jack Jack Attack. I remember that exact scene.
Right.
Yeah, man. Jack is
we haven't gotten that
overpowered,
part
man.
yet.
He's overpowered. But like, okay, so
to the opening scene.
It was basically this movie was the next day. Legit, the next day.
The same day.
It was the same day, but then after like the actual event started happening the next day and the next day after that.
So, after the Underminer attack, yeah.
Yeah. So
like you said, it seamlessly jumps in. It's a brilliant
well done. I liked it.
Yeah, what I found about it was like you see Doug, right? Doug was his name, like Goldman.
Yes.
Doug was and he's interviewing Tony Redinger. And what I loved the most was like we get to see that the attack of the Underminer in a new perspective. So he's running underneath cars. You see the camera
cars
pan,
flying this way, cars flying that way.
Not the car, not even that. Just the camera shots where he's running a certain direction, and you see the Underminer coming up, and he's lifting himself out of his machine, and it's like you see it from a different perspective. So you see Mr. Incredible and Miss Incredible and Jack and Violet and Dash all running up about to attack. You see the same scene that was the literal the ending of the original in a completely different perspective. I love that.
It's like what's the Amazing Spider-Man 2 should have done. When he's about to fight the Rhino, he jumps and it's like
yes,
right, yeah.
Except that was a much worse ending.
That was
at least in Incredibles 2, it's just like here we go again moment. Like
yes, it was great, man. I did think when we see the Underminer.
Oh, did we establish the spoiler discussion?
Yeah, we didn't say that.
Okay. And then establish to the audience that's going to watch this later.
Yes, of course. It's in the description. Were you about to say something? Because now we have awkward silence.
Yeah, it's like an awkward silence.
So we're not live?
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew.
Thanks for watching, guys.
No, you can't say. Okay. But
so this is censored, right?
Oh shit.
I have a job to go to tomorrow. This is censored, right?
Oh my god, we have like an actual cartoonist on.
See this.
Oh my god.
If we have if we actually have an interview a cartoonist like this, you guys did have the censor, right? It's not live.
Oh my god.
So so seamless transition. It was literally that same day that we left off in the old movie. Right. It came back. One thing that really disappointed me, and that I really wanted to see my favorite villain return, and my favorite villain was Bon Voyage. I really did.
You thought they would pop in at some point?
At some point in time, because he got away all them years ago, that he'd show up like, oh, I'm still here. I'm still a threat to this day because he literally got away. He was the only villain that got away, and we never heard about him after that.
True. That was I wasn't expecting
a newer villain.
I wasn't expecting. I thought that maybe the Underminer. I had no idea what was going to happen, so I thought that the Underminer.
Actually, it's funny. The Underminer actually got away with the money.
He got away too. So that's 2 for 2.
There are 2 villains that actually got away that we're probably never going to hear about again.
And we may see them again, but it's doubtful. I don't.
It's highly doubtful.
I really hope there's some kind of animated short on DVD, man. They have to make one. They know everybody wants one.
Yeah.
About what happened between
Jack. No, just any animated short.
Like Jack Attack did a good job.
Yeah. Just any kind of any animated short that has anything to do with Incredibles at all.
Right. Back to the what the great thing about this opening scene, or just what we got to see in the beginning, the start was, again, the team isn't very synchronized like they were on the island, but what was great was that we still got to see them all do their own thing. So of course, Dash saved the old lady from a giant crush, if I'm not mistaken. And so did Violet. Violet split 2 rocks in half. She's doing her powers while they're all trying to juggle Jack and all that stuff.
Yeah, they basically playing hot potato with Jack.
Right, and Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, they're trying to figure everything out too.
They're trying to stop the drill from attacking City Hall and eventually breaking it.
Yeah, I thought that whole scene from Mr. Incredible getting sucked into the money that vacuum thing all the way through to the City Hall ending. That was an awesome action sequence that just kicked everything off so well.
But another thing that also upset me was, they didn't see the fact that, they saved them, or they tried to, save the money and stuff. Oh, look at all the damage that they created. Look at all this. Look at all that. I mean, yes, there's damage and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't just rely on tax money to repair all that. But I really feel like, okay, they shouldn't be penalized to that much of an extent where, superheroes cannot be a thing. I really felt like, okay, it was the thought that counts. It's like I know what right is, and I can't help it but to do right. You know what I'm saying? Even if it might
effectively bankrupt the city.
Like I said, I told this to Brian during the movie. This is the alternate timeline to Civil War.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's funny because it is the alternate timeline to Civil War, but it's funny because the finale battle of Incredibles 1 essentially starts that story, and then the beginning of Incredibles 2 also continues that.
Yeah.
So here you have 2004. They already were starting that conversation a decade before
Captain America,
and now we have it after Captain America. But again, it's just picking up immediately after. And I like that it just did a great job.
It was more of a plot. It was more like a discussion of superheroes being illegal. It wasn't too much touched upon. It was more of like a reason for Incredible to do what he does. This is in this movie, it's a big discussion.
Oh, true, of course. Yeah, no, the original, there's a stark difference, of course. Yeah, the way that they pitch how people blamed the supers was completely different than the way that they focused on it in the sequel.
Yeah, it was
so different. You jump into that, you get into the fact that they get caught by the police, and they're all confused. Like they save the day, they think they save the day. They're confused. They get caught by the police, and in the police station, of course, they're being yelled at. They're being vehemently attacked. All that stuff. Like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have been there. We had priority to this, even though
we had contingency plan in place. If you had just did nothing, everything would have been fine.
Mostly because they did nothing, and it's because the Underminer guy escaped.
That's it.
Underminer escaped, and they stopped the thing, but there was still a lot of damage, and they got nothing out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
was smart for him. I thought like his only means of transportation was the giant thing. But for every great villain, you always gotta have a small escape route. Escape route. And what's funny was like the bank, the tank where he stored all the money was the getaway car itself. I thought was really brilliant.
But
Mr. Incredible literally was in his getaway car.
Right, and he could have exploded. He could have blown that up. Yes. I don't know how he did.
Something that I didn't expect the Underminer was could fight. He had like a freaking jack claw and stuff.
Oh yeah, jackhammer hands. That was pretty. That was actually pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Very clever.
Yeah. So
whoever actually played the Underminer was actually pretty cool. I don't know who he was.
The voice actor.
Yeah.
When he's like, meet Mr. Incredible, meet Jack. And that was like it was like finally we get to see this fight through that we've been asking for so long, and it's like it is so just fun. Like, oh, that was so cool.
And speaking of voice actors, they had to get a different one for Dash, but because the other one aged. But it's like he's such like a.
It still
he's like a duplicate.
The same Dash.
His voice is a duplicate.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Slinky's voice from Toy Story 3.
Great
job. We got somebody who has the exact voice talent as him.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. So of course, after the police station, we get to this scene where what's the old dude's name? I keep forgetting. It keeps dropping out of my.
I think
Doug. Yes. Doug gets them in a hotel, of course, because this is again same day or same. This is like a day after Syndrome attack, but the day of the Underminer attack.
Yeah.
So their house is destroyed. They're trying to get all of their stuff that is still remaining from the house. So they have all those files and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're in the hotel, and they're just like in this motel, and he's like, oh well, we're not gonna we can't do the move again. The government agency is shut down.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because of the all instances and stuff, their agency is now shut down. I can get you 2 weeks maximum. That's about as much as I can do, and erase the guy's memory if you possibly saw your daughter.
Yeah.
So
and so of course, and that plays in the erasing the memory. Right. Plays in key to Violet's situation.
Yeah, Violet literally becomes more violent and more emo because
of course that whole thing
her
happened.
entire face and everything was erased from his memory. Not just the fact that oh I saw her in her super suit and she has superpowers, you know, everything, the date, everything. And then she's like, hey, so you know you saw me and this, and he was laughing. He was like, you know, haha, it's all cool. But then it's like, who are you again? Do I know you?
The fact that
and she just walks off. I was just like, bro, damn. What the hell? I didn't even see what he was doing. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing this.
Anyway.
Oh man.
But the whole Tony Reidinger Violet thing, you know, that was who she was trying to get with since the original. And it's like I love the fact that it's if you watch these back to back, it will be this is who she's trying to get.
Yeah, you watch these back to back, it's a 4-hour movie.
Right. Because it literally is just a 4-hour continuous thing. And it just does such a good job of just feeling like it just continues the consistency. Like, of course, they're in the motel, and of course, they get the kids to bed, and they're next to a pool. They're talking about what their plan is, and of course, Mr. Incredible's like, I have to get a job. And they're talking about who should get a job. He's like, I have to do this.
I got to be the one to do it, you know, because
and
he's like he's a dude, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And I thought one of the greatest lines in that scene was like, oh well, you know, let's do this. I'm going to work really hard to get this job. Well, where are my suits? And it's like,
so where are my suits again? Oh yeah, those all blew up in the house.
Then when they was exploded, it's like, when the house was destroyed. It's like it just feels so like continuous. It just it doesn't. Nothing drops. The pin just gets picked up and just keeps going.
It's getting past.
I like how Samuel Jackson comes in. Like I know a guy. He's trying to form a team.
Right. Every time
that was hilarious. That was hilarious. Like Samuel Jackson plays a lot of people, and that's basically how that's his job. It would always happen.
He's literally the recruiter.
He's like, hey, man, there's this guy trying to sell a team. Take a look.
Right.
It's really, and you know, and this is Mr. Incredible. He's like, oh man, I can finally be the center of attention again. I can be the super. I can do this. And then they're like,
she's Helen.
And they're like, well, she's actually the best choice because, you know, she's more delicate. Her track record's cleaner.
He does a lot more damage.
Hey, you should
exactly. One of the great things about The Incredibles is the fact that it's set in the 60s. Yeah. One of the great things about The Incredibles is that you know, it's set in the 60s. So you have this really good period piece. So you go into that office with the guy. What is that company's name? I keep forgetting a lot of the critical things, but
you talking about the old company called InsureCare, or you're talking about the new guy company?
The new guy's company.
Shoot,
whatever. They go up the elevator. And they go in the elevator. They get to that room, and they're sitting in that conference, that cool little conference area, you know, and like that in itself was very much a period piece room. The chairs were very much set like they would be in the 60s, the design of the 60s. Yeah. The way in which the room turned, because it was very circular, very much a 60s design. What they thought the future would be, pretty much was the future. The only thing that really clashed the future was the fact that there was video cameras on their suits.
Apparently, like some people say, it might take place like the 1960s.
Yeah, no, like
there's a lot of futuristic tech, yet there's like a lot of old cars, and the TV shows they're watching are of old age.
No, it's the 60s. Yeah,
definitely.
So you know, like you said, they call in Elastigirl. You know,
her track. Yeah, she has a very clean track record.
And Mr. Incredible's super jelly because you know he wants to be out there. So of course they get home and he's like, I want to go out there. I want to do this, but he takes care of the kids. And this is where the dynamic splits. So you know. And we see, you know, Elastigirl's doing one thing. She's trying to save for herself. She's trying to do her job. And Mr. Incredible is raising the family. He's working with the family. He's working with Dash.
He's trying to be a better parent. He's trying to be a super parent at the same time.
He thinks he has this in the beginning, and he doesn't.
And then it just wrecked. He's like, oh man, I can't do this. And then like, what's funny, Edna basically got it within a day, or like a day. She don't even have kids. She just got it in a day. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was brilliant.
Why you were not?
Because I thought it was brilliant. And Jack was just imitating her down to the T.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very scary, but cool at the same time. I was like,
you know,
wow,
at this point, we could just run through all the.
Yeah, I was trying. That's why I was trying to skip.
I'm starting to lose because I think I'm losing Mark here because he's just like passing out back.
I'm trying. I'm to like I was trying to skip forward. Like you guys are going through like you guys are running the entire movie in your head and you're just doing an audio commentary.
Yeah,
which I mean,
it's the 14-year wait,
mother.
14-year wait, mother.
Okay, so one thing this movie does. All right, so let's.
I know. I want to get to the good stuff though.
That's too bad. We're about to get to the good stuff. Elastigirl's.
We already got to the good opening stuff. The stuff in between.
We're about to get to the good stuff. So Elastigirl's mission starts, and she's in I think whatever Empire City, whatever the Metroville, whatever the big name is.
Yeah, whatever that stuff is.
And you know she's in Metroville. I'm just gonna call it Metroville, even though I think that's Timmy Turner, isn't it? Metroville isn't that?
Retroville is Jimmy Neutron. Timmy Turner's Dimsdale.
Okay.
Dimsdale.
I'm gonna call it Retroville for now on.
It's almost like Metro Stay.
Is that where it is?
Yeah, Megamind.
Okay, that's okay. Well, of course you have
you can call it Retroville because
Retroville. You know, they show an Empire State looking building very many times. So this is always supposed to be New York. And her first mission is to stop or just to see what's going on. A train goes out of control.
Yeah, because they literally got threats saying that we're gonna hijack the train.
Yep.
People were like discounting it, but at the same time they're like, well, they're kind of worried. And of course, successful launch, everything looks fine, everything's going peaceful.
It goes in reverse.
It goes in reverse.
What do you think of the scene, Mark?
That looks like the coolest PS4 game I've always wanted to play. I thought that was creative the way they actually used their powers. I did not expect the motorcycle to like extend she launches herself out like because the thing what this movie does better than what Marvel movies does is like they make use of the powers.
They make motorcycles.
No, what?
Like they make motorcycles around the powers. They make vehicles that are based around the powers of the superhero.
Oh no,
that wasn't the original. That was already in the original.
Wait, let me finish what I was saying, Kevin. No, huh? Oh, was that you?
Oh, that wasn't me.
Whatever. Cameo appearance. There are other people in this house, believe it or not.
Yeah.
But like they actually shit. Okay, I got it. They actually do creative stuff with the powers instead of just like very acrobatic punches and kicks in the Marvel movies.
Right. They
actually like use the powers creatively. Yeah. That's only like Marvel movies only do that a few times instead of just it's like the Marvel movies is just very well choreographed fights.
That's the thing, yeah.
And flashy and very flashy ones too.
The biggest example of that is the Captain America movies, where every iteration is just evolving over. It's the same fight scenes pretty much. You're just going out. Oh, who's the big main character that he's going to fight against this time? It's the same fights, same choreography, and no real threat to Captain America. So he's not going to die.
They're still good. I still watch.
No, they're great. But like the great thing about Incredibles 2 was that you really felt pressure when Elastigirl.
We're talking the ending.
Oh, I'm not paying attention.
Yeah. You know, when Elastigirl was what's going on? That scene was just so fast. They just kept up the momentum, and that's what every action scene in this entire film did. Was just kept. There was so much momentum just driving it. Of course, the backup was the great score.
Yes,
that just kept consistent.
First thing I found out later when I was like looking on YouTube after I seen the movie, like they mentioned Mr. Incredible had his own theme song. They actually made that theme song.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pow pow pow.
Yep. Mr. Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, they had also
was that in the movie?
Frozone.
I didn't.
It was in the credits.
They also did Frozone, and then they was gonna do Elastigirl, but then Elastigirl was like, no theme song. Just get on the train.
Frozen has some theme song.
Yeah, she even has her own.
No, Frozone.
Yeah, he did. It was in the end credits. His was first. His like legit Frozone's was sung first, and then it was Incredible.
Because I think your friend was shouting, and then you just wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our plan was shouting.
So like a little fast forward, there's this unknown villain called the Screen Watcher, or like.
Are we explaining? Because I was going to talk about the highlights. But it seems like you guys are just like explaining the movie to
We
the
just
audience.
said the greatest points, and we were getting to the greatest points, which was the train sequence. And the screensaver appears,
Right,
the screenslayer, whatever his name,
whatever
the hash-slinging slasher appears in the train. That's the first time we see this creature or this person appear.
What I really thought what was cool, one of my favorite parts of it, right? One of my favorite parts of it was like the fight between Mrs. Incredible and the screensaver,
the hash-slinging slasher.
The hash-slinging slasher. So they're fighting. He's like, okay, look, I'm gonna try to hypnotize you, but as I'm trying to hypnotize you, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you and tase you and get rid of parts of your body so you can't fight me. Like
that fight sequence is beautiful.
That was amazing. And the funny thing was, it was just a pizza guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't really even. That wasn't really.
That wasn't her.
That wasn't really the.
Well, we didn't know that.
Screensaver. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, she got him. That was it. The end of the screensaver. You know what I'm saying? Forget that guy.
No, we realized there was something going on when he said, like, "What am I doing? This is not like I didn't do anything."
Right.
Yeah. Once they showed that, it was like, okay, well then he's been captured, just like the way in which the TV host was controlled. Just like the way in which the train controller was controlled.
Something everybody predicted since the trailer was everybody knew the screensaver villain was going to be an inside job.
Yeah,
and
and they didn't hide it at all.
They didn't really care. They didn't really care.
Yeah.
They didn't really stop the movie to wait for the audience to be shocked.
Right.
It was just there.
It was just.
And I like that because like this movie was not about having a villain. It was just about the family itself.
Very true.
Basically.
Yeah. The one person in the family that didn't get much development was Dash. I think we talked about this.
Dash.
He doesn't have much of
he doesn't do
story except for like math.
Right. And I think we did. I think we talked about this. There's not much you can do with Dash at this age because he's just he's very much a.
No. You can still make up a story for him because something I want him to do was him having a relationship with that teacher of his. He put thumbtacks over.
Basically
because his teacher
wanted to see the rivalry reappear. The funny, I get the teacher, but my teacher basically becomes Crocker because now he's paranoid that I might have powers.
Was he like if you remember from the first one, he makes the teacher almost becomes Crocker from Family Guy.
Dude, the teacher's going crazy, man.
He notices that Jack is Dash is faster than like the average person.
Right.
So
that would be a good dynamic to have, just to see, what would he do on Monday?
Yeah.
What is if Jack got if not Jack if Dash got away on Friday, then and it's Monday now it's Monday. What is the teacher going to do on Monday?
Yeah, because that's
and if the world is continuing as if it's normal, then he would go back to school the next day. Then that was one thing that was missing.
Or was the teacher fired, and then the teacher become one of those dudes that stop the children and try to figure out what's going on inside the family? That could have been a thing.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: the movie never touched upon it. It's just the fact that Dash almost revealed the secret that they were supers, and like because one guy caught him. I would want them to expand upon that because after that scene, they never really brought attention to it. The only thing they brought attention to from Dash at school is that he just wants to join a tag team and he can't.
Oh yeah, track team and stuff.
But like other than they never brought up the fact that he's using his powers.
His identity would have been if it was today. His identity would have been shown. If it would have been proven with a slow motion camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's just lucky that the video camera doesn't.
Like I would love to see more of that, where the principal actually has evidence,
which was funny.
Like
the
that.
mom actually played it off because she was looking at the principal and basically copying his facial expressions, like what I was doing in the game of what was that game? That little Jackbox game. But just a slight tangent because basically you're supposed to find that he wasn't there. Basically, you're supposed to find who's the faker, or like who's the faker at large, and I keep winning. But basically, yeah, you just
they just kept giving it to you. No, they kept giving you the fake. They kept making you the faker. You didn't keep winning. There's no winner. You just have to find out who the faker was.
Yeah, the faker who didn't get caught is the winner. More points. I got the most points because I
know. I never got a chance to be the faker. I would have won that easily too.
Oh man, it was crazy. But that's basically it. Like she just played the game of the faker before the game Faker came out, and
I thought we were talking about
Kevin's just stroking himself right now.
I'm struggling. What? Oh, fuck you, man! I'm not.
Yeah, I was the
giving
winner.
myself a high
Faker.
five. You know,
I was the winner.
Really, dude? I'm not giving myself.
I won.
Stop! God damn it.
Anyway,
yeah. So
wherever we were in the plot with Jack. Anyway,
So
I was going to say that
we're
I
the only
agree
show
with
we have.
I was going to say that
pretty cool.
no, I was going to say that I agree with you guys. The Dash scenario actually there was potential to grow that character, but they never used him. But then after all this Jackbox stuff, I'm not going to agree with you at all.
Jack.
Yeah,
Jack
of course. The other character that they do increase knowledge, they give a lot of time to is Violet.
I was going to say Jack, but yeah, her too.
Her potential boyfriend has just been memory wiped. So now, you know, the date's canceled. The date's forgotten completely.
She's forgotten.
He's forgotten her. She thinks that he's just given up on him.
Or like, because he saw her as a super, he's gonna avoid her and pretend like nothing ever happened.
Right.
Basically.
Exactly. So now she's really angsty and against her superpowers. She feels very insecure about herself again. She was. That's the thing. She was like, if you talk about 2 days ago, fighting against everyone on that island, she was very confident in her powers. She was like, "Man, we can do this now." She's feeling way more confident. By the end of the week, by the time you get to the that sports game or whatever track game, she's confident in herself. Now that's all dropped back down again because of what happened. So now she has to build herself back up. You know, Jack. What? Just MacGuffin powers.
He's a star of the movie right there.
MacGuffin.
He's a star. Well, he was
Dude,
like,
he was throwing hands with that raccoon, like legit.
that was like one of the best scenes right there. That was like Looney Tunes writing between him and that raccoon.
Right. Yeah, that was good. That was a good scene. And yeah, I don't know what that said, but sorry, there's so many things going on that I lost my train of thought.
Yep.
Something I want to bring to attention is like I like that in the beginning they established that like the family's going is like it's more it's realistic because the family's going through a hard time right now.
Oh, you can tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the family's going through a hard time right now, and like Doug's not able to like provide money like a house for them, only a motel for like the next 2 weeks, and after that they're either if it wasn't for Frozone coming across a little company, they would have been out. They'd be on the street and like. It's just like I've been through that family trouble where like there's if my parents lost their job, had to be out or something like a lot that's relatable to a lot of people, and
it was just a real situation. Like, what am I going to do? What's the deal here? What's going to happen? And I thought that debate, like when they were in the kitchen and they were just like, yeah, we're at the end of our rope here, like. No, you didn't do anything wrong. This is fine. This is like another going back and forth. They're just yelling because all of it's just so stressing. Yeah. Very real situation.
Yeah.
Very, very good scene. It felt unanimated. It felt like live action in that moment. Just two people, Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, just talking it out. Not even talking, just angrily shouting at each other, just out of rage because of the situation. Because they're up against the wall. Yeah.
And they're trying to basically, because of Frozone coming in clutch with the card and stuff, they were able to, get this job opportunity. Mrs. Incredible becomes the center of attention. She basically
she's a star.
Gets them the house and everything. They can go to school. Their life is basically normal-ish again until they can
until the screensaver becomes until they go out of control, they really start to tamper with
something I thought at first was like the when you get the first hint that the screensaver's there, when you hear about the screensaver for the first time, it's a whole thing on screen that says "Hi, Elastigirl." Right. I originally thought like, oh, that's one of Elastigirl's old villains. Like, it would be cool if like every superhero had their own gallery of rogues.
Right. Yeah. That would have been a good point. If that was just someone that was from 20 years ago, and then they see her return.
That was somebody who fights only Elastigirl.
Yeah.
See, the funny thing was though, when I saw the screensaver, I made this thought, well, How does he know that Elastigirl is there doing that at that particular time? Saving the day and everything. I'm like, you know what? I think it's the brother. I literally think it's the brother. I was like, oh, he's the inside job.
That's the other. Well, that's the other. That's the obvious thought. Everybody knew. Well, everybody knew that since the trailer.
Because the way they were pitching him as very much like the dude that probably was the one. Because his overexcitement of supers made it seem like he was putting on an act.
I was glad to find out he wasn't. He
just loves supers.
It's just nice. He is an overexcited, nice character.
Right. He's just very nostalgic, and he loves supers. That was the thing. He'd like to see them back.
Yeah, that's why he just wants them to come back, and then he wants to. He basically made a portal for them. Oh, now they can't say that all the damage and stuff that was created, this, that, and the third. Oh, this was just. They basically with the camera on their suit. There was another perspective of how hard they were trying to save and make everything. Not trying to destroy everything.
They really get into the politics of this world in this movie.
That was basically where they were going, and I really enjoyed and appreciated that because I'm just saying, we want they didn't see what they were doing, and all of a sudden they just assume, oh,
they're the bad guys. They're doing all the damage. If they could just be away, get out of here,
right?
Then the damage wouldn't have been as substantial. And again, it was about perception, like you were bringing up. It was about perception. That was the main issue about this entire movie. It was like, oh, if we can just fix the perception, then maybe we can bring superheroes back.
Which they did, which I really thought was pretty cool. Another scene that I thought was funny was that this dude, superpowers, he has huge hands. He's fighting.
Mr. Incredible. The Fortnite characters were awful. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they were Fortnite characters.
Design. I like them as characters when they're when they're interacting with each other.
Her neck is could be right there. I'm really sorry.
I have to be there.
I'm sorry.
But you were like, I would have killed her on live cable.
It would have made it look like the dude was literally throwing Mr. Incredible around and everything, but then all you see is 1-2, like the most realistic. I'm more experienced than you. You're just a new guy. Get out of here with that bull.
Yeah,
that's basically what it was. He just doop, and the dude just literally just said, "Whoa," and falls back. It was very realistic. Then you have the girl with the most interesting out of all of them was the girl with the vortex powers. The guy with electricity looked like he was a little mentally retarded, and the owl guy, that's all he did was fly and turn his head around.
That was it.
It didn't matter because the movie wasn't acting like they were important. The only important one they were trying to focus on was the Void.
Yeah, Void was a potential upcoming.
She was the only one that got many lines. She was the only one that really got any development whatsoever.
Because you can tell the people at Pixar really love the game Portal.
Yeah, dude, that the way she used her powers was very creative.
That scene when she's trying to get Elastigirl on the plane, that was so amazing.
It was funny as well.
I and I just I gush over the scene when she would that. I think that was the best fight scene in the movie for me when she was fighting Violet. That was so creative.
Yeah, because
the way Violet was using her shield to hit her, and the best part is when she Violet is in her bubble, he's trying to hit her, and then she puts a voice, she puts herself in the bubble with Violet.
Right.
It was a very punches her. I was like, whoa, man.
Very creative. Very creative.
Yeah, because like I said before, they make use of the powers within the fight. It's not just punching and kicking because they're in Avengers, everyone's just acrobats that know that has been trained through some type of skill.
And that's right.
It's with this is they don't know how to fight, they just have powers.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And they're using their powers creatively.
Definitely, that's the difference. Yeah, the one issue I mean, you guys enjoyed the secondary heroes. The few things that I found were
I enjoyed Void. It's the thing is, I don't enjoy the secondary characters. They're obstacles for the other supers, and I enjoyed them as obstacles, as plot devices.
Right. So what I found with those secondary heroes was the fact that it didn't feel like Pixar, outside of Void, didn't feel like Pixar cared about them, and as well, it didn't feel like their designs. Number one, their designs very much felt like a modern day thing and not a past era thing. For instance, you look at the period piece that Incredibles was. every time you brought up the other superheroes, like for instance, Dyna Guy, you talk about in Incredibles 1, you look at all the superheroes that were around, and all of those heroes, they have a design to them that is from the 50s, from the 40s, from a 60s type of period piece style. They didn't even feel like they were set in the time period that they were supposed to be in.
Right.
They felt like modern day off-brand heroes. They literally feel like off-brand heroes. They don't.
Again, like you said, you hit on the mark before. They look like Fortnite characters.
Yeah, that was my every time I saw them, they put me out of this world that is set in the 60s. That is this period piece of fun and awesomeness, and it didn't look good. Outside of Void's awesome powers, they look like they were from 2018. I'm like, what is this? Why are they here? What's going on?
They didn't. Their designs didn't really bother me too much. They were just like, I just thought they weren't as good looking as the main characters they were focusing on. Again, like the movie wasn't trying to focus on them anyway, so
right.
Again, it didn't bother me much. What did get me was Void's design is a bit weird because I don't know her actual name, but we're just calling her Void because that's her power,
of course.
Portals, because she looked like they were messing around with Violet's model and they came up with that.
No, they just look like an SJW. That's all. What are you talking about?
Void.
Yes. She was just a very skinny person.
She was just an SJW for the hair thing, and that's all it looked like. Yeah. It didn't. Because her jawline's different than Violet's. Her facial design is different than Violet's.
Shocked me, but
her body type looks very similar.
What shocked me and didn't kind of shock me about the movie was that the sister of the rich guy was the villain.
That shocked you?
It did, but it didn't because I thought it was him himself.
Right.
Because I was expecting some sort of twist where it's him, but.
Well, we still was expecting like he was in on it, even when
right, at least in some way, he was involved. But she was just so mopey and so they made it look. They say, "Hey, look, boom, she's there. That's who she is." I'm like, no way, it can't be her. She's too obvious.
Exactly.
And it was her.
Like I'm not putting like a movie.
And she was very intelligent, but not as intelligent as Syndrome.
Well, here's the thing. This is a nitpick, but this is I think actually no, it is. I think it's a flaw. What? I think it's a weak backstory for how to be mad at supers because they didn't answer the phone.
Yeah, that's a very weak.
They could have done better.
Basically, her whole thing was, she hated supers because her dad didn't want to listen to them and hide in the bunker like normal rich people, right?
Right.
Instead, he was like, "Look, I got two phones. Let me call Dyna Guy or Pyronics."
Right.
None of them answered their phone because at the time, Heroes were recently
disbanded.
Canceled.
You should have called Mr. Incredible. He kept his.
Yeah. So he tried to call those two guys. Nobody answered. The guys who broke into the house saw him trying to call and shot him.
It was the parents' reliance or the father's reliance on superheroes was his downfall, and her mother's downfall. So she finds very
I thought that was extremely weak and petty because she knows because the fact that she knows the reason she's in the superhero industry, so she knows the reasoning that they have to be underground.
No, she knows. I mean, compare that to Syndrome's backstory. It's like there's such a stronger difference there, and it's like with the villain
Syndrome had the biggest more
issue.
Motivation.
Yeah, the biggest issue I have with this movie also is that, and it's again, I love this movie. I just think it didn't even need a villain. If we just enjoy, I don't think there has to be a villain, but if we just enjoyed the whole Incredibles being back, that would have been fine. You know what I mean? Like just having this family that has become one of the coolest families ever, and they do the Underminer, and then we just go into them being a family, and we don't, and Elastigirl's doing this, but there is no Slaver or whatever. It's like
she's promoting the good side of Heroes, basically.
Yeah, what would that dynamic be? How would that story go? Because it would be the same, except there'd be no Screenslaver.
And everything would be a lot
more literally successful. I'm sorry, but the story would be legitimately the same because the Screenslaver was such a minimal character to this, did such minimal events overall
I'm sorry, yeah, but like
What?
it did make for one of the best like moments. It's like the superheroes being controlled, like that part where Elastigirl gets controlled. I love when like you have two like a well-known super fighting a well-known super, and by well-known I mean to the audience,
right?
Like because Avengers does that crap all the time.
Every
Like this super versus this super. I love that stuff.
Of course.
So as soon as she like you had Wonder Woman hit, shit. Why is it Elastigirl hypnotized?
And Mr. Incredible walks into that room.
Yes, yeah. And like they're fighting, and yes, I want to see.
Jesus, dude, when he was like, "Honey, what are you doing? It's me." And then she's like, it looked like she snaps out of it.
No, she doesn't.
I felt for that too.
I know, right?
No, she didn't snap out of it. That was just.
That's what I'm saying. It looked like she snapped out of it.
Exactly.
And then she went for the kiss. She went for the whole thing, and then whoop, slipped her on.
That was genius.
I was like, wow. He literally
got caught because like I thought like okay, that was easy.
Yeah, this is how he gets her out.
And then but then boom, you just now I have two super.
Like that scene where like Frozone is talking to like all the hypnotized supers.
That was actually
incredibly tense, and that was a great scene.
That was really
like
good.
He was talking by the door.
Exactly. Yeah, he was like, "Hey, he sent me, so you guys don't have to be here." Right. And I got all this stuff handled because he was worried about the kids and he's all that stuff. So no, that's fine. Yeah, so that's when it was like, we still got to be here, and all that stuff. They try to open the door and everything, and they're like, okay, yeah, he's on to us. We got to get him. Exactly. So him fighting those, like, what was it, 4 or 5 of those guys? Or like 4 of them, right?
I believe so.
It was 4. So him, Frozone fighting those 4, he was doing really well for a guy with just only ice powers. But then again, you have to think about, he's a veteran. So as a veteran, even though his powers is a basic ice powers, he was
still around for so long that he's able to defend himself and defend others in that process. Plus, I think I think what was his even more driving force was the fact that the Incredibles family was there. So he's like, I have to defend this by all costs.
Yeah, I have to defend these kids.
He's like, get to the car. Get to he's like,
get in the car. Like, he's like, go, get in the car. He's defending them. He's doing everything. He's like, dude, he tells the car, look, voice recognition. And they're like, okay, say your names. They did that. Right as Violet gets her name and everything recognized, they got him. And then she's like, car, get out of here.
This is something we barely got in the first movie. It's like, I love seeing the side of Lucius where, I love seeing the side of Lucius where, like, he's not a friend of Bob's. He's a godfather of these children.
Right. He's a family man.
Yeah, basically, and him and Cookie. Well, Cookie's not there, but she's like, "You better be hearing her."
Honey.
Honey. Oh, I thought it was Cookie.
No, Cookie. No, Cookie is the name of my cat because Lucius.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
Get away from the door.
Yeah.
Dang it. Keep talking.
Yeah, but yeah. So
get downstairs and borrow the.
I really thought that was very well done. It was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really that way.
I got it. Keep talking.
So,
you guys still there?
We're still here.
This is Dougal Chat.
Dougal Chat.
This is Dougal Chat.
So
you were saying
it was very intense. He was able to
fend them off
just long enough for them to get out of there.
Yeah, I thought that was.
And I really thought, that was so clutch at that very moment. If it wasn't for him showing up,
they'd be done.
They would have got caught.
They would have had no time to actually get to the car and do all that.
Do anything.
The car wouldn't have shown up in time because they would have already been captured.
Actually, the funny thing was the only reason the car showed up was because the son saw it on TV, and the dad was like, "I'm going to steal my car back," and he got his remote.
Right. No, but I mean, in the moment when they had that remote, it's like that car would not have gotten there in time because
if it wasn't for
it luckily got there in that moment where Frozone had already did a lot of defense. So of course, you get to that. One of the greater scenes was not forgotten scenes. I think one of the greatest scenes was when Edna goes and sees Jack. When
Bob's so tired.
Bob drives in. He's exhausted.
I love tired out Bob.
When he started talking, but it wasn't him. He was just moving his mouth, like, and the baby was making all the noises. He's like, "Oh my God, you sound horrible." He's like, "That's not me. That's the baby." I was just like, that was beautiful, and she literally discovered all of his powers within the span of a night. She discovered how it works, what the kinks, like how, like basically how to disarm him.
I love this. I love the scene when Bob comes back to check on him, and he's like, and like Jack becomes another Edna.
Yeah, he was really freaked out.
It's like, I love that scene where like it had a little eye scan, and like it's like the one made me laugh. The little microphone. That.
Right, yeah.
That was cool. That was cool.
And basically, he said Edna Mode, but it was a baby talking. I was just like, wow, that's really freaky. It's scary. And she's like, I have a child. She's like, okay, well, babysitting fees, that's going to cost you December 3rd. All the stuff I do for him is for free because she obviously she's got a bond with him because he's a baby and has so much unlimited potential. She's just so fascinating because he has so much unlimited potential, and she could create like the greatest super suit there ever was. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Well, Elastigirl needs a new suit designer. That's going to be me. I'm gonna charge you that. I'm gonna charge for this. Yeah, as long as I'm you, Elastigirl, and Frozen exclusive designer. Yeah, which I thought was pretty cool. So in the end, they beat the sister. Even the brother helped them defeat his own sister by saving the rich people.
No, he just like jumped off the plane. He's like, I ain't part of this.
Right. Yeah. So I really thought that was actually pretty cool. He was like, yeah. He's like, man, I'm not a part of this. He jumped off and then he just did his own thing.
So they get to keep the nice house.
Yeah. They actually got to keep the house, which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, the guy's rich. He has all these other houses. What's one house?
Ladies and gentlemen, Justin from Jet Harris YouTube channel. What's up?
Yo, hey guys.
Isn't that channel dead?
Yeah.
I mean, my channel's kind of dead as well, but I mean,
that channel's been dead. I just
Jet Harris t-shirts.
I just entertain you guys on my Facebook. That's it.
T-shirts.
Just so you, oh wow, really? You had merch?
Don't promote your merch. Don't promote your merch on my channel. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Hey, Kevin, you know what happened?
What?
I made him that shirt.
Oh wow!
I got him that shirt made for Christmas.
Oh man, it's like Jet Harris merch. Get it while it's hot. Oh my God!
Anyway,
but
you didn't see his hoodie?
Yeah, he's just there. He's just like disappearing. But
like
we basically
they
went over everything in the movie.
They get to keep the nice house. They're about to shoot villains again, and this is a perfect setup for the Incredibles TV show that's not announced yet, but it should be in a matter of time.
That's what I'm saying. That they should have a TV show.
No,
they should.
No,
they should.
No, an Incredibles TV show, unless it's made by Netflix and is really well crafted, should not be made. The issue with Incredibles 2 is that it needs to be the show is it needs to be perfect, not simplified animation. It needs to be as high quality animation as you see in the movie. That's the issue.
But my final thoughts is like,
Lucky, I want to be spoiled. Give me these characters forever.
I give it a good like 10 out of 10. That's what me.
What's up?
Oh, there's a ghost in your game.
What happened?
Mario keeps killing himself.
Oh, it's the are you playing with the clear one?
No, every time I've been playing with the clear one, but
the clear one has a turbo mode. You gotta mess with the switches.
I know that, but it doesn't do that when the clear one's unplugged. Well, no, it doesn't do that when the clear one's plugged in. It only does it when the regular controller's plugged in.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a ghost in
there's a ghost. Also, if you haven't known, I also try to do paranormal activities on my own.
Country?
My own time.
All right, enough.
You tried Donkey Kong Country.
But
Donkey Kong Country.
I tried.
Get out, huh?
Jesus. Oh my God! You're just like, hey man, just play the
like, favorite, subscribe. Favorite, subscribe.
Oh my
God!
channel.
We got Vader like.
Oh my God! It just came out of nowhere. I thought it was an attack.
Final thoughts, guys.
Like I said, I said a 10. I said like a 10 out of 10. There was really nothing that kind of disappointed me about the movie.
Incredibles 1 is 10 out of 10 for me. Incredibles 2 is at least probably a 8.
8 out of 10 for me.
It's not like because it's not perfect. The screensaver sucks.
Oh no, I gave it a 10 out of 10 for the raccoon scene.
Oh no, there's reasons that
Because-
it's 10 out of 10, but it's
Because if y'all haven't known,
Brian, here's the thing. Different
I
people,
used to have an actual
I think
mortal
it's
nemesis who was a real raccoon. I used to fight raccoons, and he would know. He saw the raccoon. So that's why I gave the movie 10 out of 10, because Jack gave that raccoon a whooping. He took it
very
very
good
down.
reason to give those to it.
Yes, man.
Yes.
I was saying the reason. It's like I look at people's different. I look at people's other scores and I take it as their values. Like you mentioned, like when I gave like Boss Baby a 4 out of a 3 out. I mean a 2 out of 10 or like a 3 out of 10. You were like what about Home? I give it like a 1. Like, and you had like different reviews, but like it's just like mine have different values to yours.
Well, yeah, of course, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like you think a Wii U is on par with other 8th generation systems. I think that's bullshit. But
No, I don't.
you said that it's an 8. You said Wii U is an 8th generation system.
Yeah, but in the category lineup.
Oh, you said it.
This is back. You're bringing back shit from back then. It's just a fucking name of the lineup. Like I said, we just call this a fart generation,
Yes,
and it can just be a
We
thing.
did this purely on the fact that it's an 8th generation console because it's the 8th Nintendo console.
In the lineup, it doesn't matter anymore.
Consoles.
It's just a fucking name of the lineup.
okay,
It's just a fucking name of the
Fuck
lineup of that current
consoles.
year of consoles.
it's all about PCs. PCs get it all. But
Wait, we're not sponsored by PlayStation. What are you talking about?
what I didn't say PlayStation. I
Anyway,
said
guys,
PCs.
just remember, PlayStation get 15% discount if you use the code Animation Nation.
Game Pass.
You're going to get me sued.
Oh my God, what is this? This is not a thing.
What?
Yeah, look at
This
that
is
poster
not a
above
thing.
you.
Really?
Oh no, there's a
There's no other system you can get that game on, bitch.
now available on PlayStation 4.
Oh shit!
Whoa, Mario.
Mario on the Switch.
When did they just like take out Mario and just like it's just like invisible characters?
Oh,
They literally edit them out.
Right, Sonic and Sonic at the end in 2012.
Sonic and Blank.
Oh my God!
Sonic and Crash Bandicoot.
Oh shit!
All right.
No, Sonic and Kratos.
Oh my
They had to do something.
Come on, boy.
There's no Olympic Games. It's just
Great.
Kratos.
Like,
Sonic
no,
head off.
I imagine Kratos figure skating.
Come on, boy.
Oh my God.
Gotta go fast.
Fast. Yeah. I am a god.
Tell me to go fast by the gods again.
Yes.
He's gonna lose one event to Kratos is gonna lose one event and then rip Sonic's legs off and use it for his own powers because that's what Kratos does. He
Come
kills
here,
gods and take their
hedgehog.
powers. Oh my God!
All right,
But,
we are done. No, we are done.
But like, like
We're
I like.
done. I have
No,
to, like,
shut the
We're
fuck
done.
up.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
like it.
Thank you for
I like
watching.
Incredibles 1.
Thank you for watching.
Fuck you. Okay. I like.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank
Shut
you
the
for
fuck
watching.
up. I like
Thank you.
it.
we gotta go.
This
Let's
is the end of
I like Incredibles 1 more.
Thank you very
than
much
it.
for watching again. Subscribe for more content. I was
Shut the
joking.
fuck up. Okay.
I was-
Okay.
This is
You're going on for too long, and that's why I like.
Right.
I like Incredibles 1 more than this.
But yeah,
I'm only
your
for
name is Rob Giant.
No, this is Genesis GW. This is at the box.
Kevin, stop continuing the joke. Your
And then let's get the heck out of here.
jokes are funny, but like
Kev,
going.
we gotta get out of here. This is we're running out of time.
Okay. Okay, but like keep it close to my mouth. Okay, I like the first Incredibles.
The viewers are negative now. What happened?
I like Incredibles 1 more for different reasons, but like it's like these two, Incredibles 1 and Incredibles 2 feel like both to like different movies. So like it's like comparing Logan to Infinity War. That's the way Incredibles 1 and 2 feel like to me. The way I feel about them.
Yeah, so just two different tones. One
Yeah.
is just a return to a long time friend, and one is a brand new adventure a brand new story.
Yes, I think this is like a top notch movie. This is a sequel I wanted.
Right.
And it is not in any way Finding Dory.
Definitely not.
Finding Dory sucks. I hate Finding
It
Dory.
is trash. I agree with you 150%. Yeah. All right. I think that's it, guys. Thanks for watching Cartoon Chat and this review. As always, you can find Mark Warren on K-Line Biscuits, and you can find Kevin at Fair-Off Dragonite. I'm joking. Genesis GW.
Just delete that channel, goddammit.
Fuck you.
You can find.
I'm not deleting
I'm sorry.
shit.
You can find Kevin at Digital Gamers Network, and you can find.
I was gonna tell you, wow.
And thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen.
You can find Canine
Of
Biscuits on Jet Harris.
Oh my. Holy shit.
Please give it
You
a
can-
please
you
give
can
it a
find
thumbs down.
You can find,
Please give it a thumbs down and unsubscribe.
you can find Kevin on Blasting Trevor Reports. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Animation.
Please flag my channel.
Thanks for watching.
Please flag my
You're
channel.
done.
Get deleted
No.
if I want to make any more videos.
Oh my god.
Yes, and get up. So this is an anticlimactic.
All right. Goodbye. So they're having sex tonight, so you don't know that. Jesus. What the fuck?